Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving straight into what might be the single most unfairly maligned, deeply misunderstood nutrient in our entire diet. I'm talking about fat. For literally decades, it's been the scapegoat, right? Blamed for absolutely everything, from weight gain to heart disease. But as we look at the science together today, it is definitely time to set the record straight.
So, let's just address the elephant in the room. Is all fat actually bad for you? Look, if you grew up during those intense low-fat diet crazes of the past few decades, you might instinctively just shout yes. We have been so heavily conditioned by grocery store aisles that are just packed with fat-free labels, it kind of led all of us to believe that the ultimate path to health was just stripping fat off our plates entirely. But as you'll see from the latest research from Harvard and UCLA, that outdated way of thinking is actually doing us a lot more harm than good. Yeah, you read that right. Low fat? No fat? Actually, try more fat. No, seriously, our bodies fundamentally, biologically require fat just for survival, let alone longevity. Far from being this terrible enemy, the right kinds of fat are actually your essential allies. They power your brain, they protect your heart, and they keep all of your internal systems running smoothly. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the real truth about dietary fat, then break down saturated versus trans fats, explore the incredible power of unsaturated fats, check out the direct benefits for your heart and brain, and finally, we'll talk about finding your healthy fats in everyday life. Section 1. The truth about dietary fat. I want to share this quote from Vasanthi Malik, a research scientist at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. She says, when you focus too much on cutting out all fat, you can actually deprive your body of what it needs most. You see, your body absolutely needs a regular intake of fat. It's not just a place to store extra calories. Fat gives your body vital energy. It physically acts as a cushion to protect your vital organs. It supports cell growth, and, this is absolutely crucial, it is mandatory for helping your body absorb all those essential nutrients from the other healthy foods you're eating. To really grasp this, we've got to look at the basic science for a second. Fats are a type of lipid, which basically just means they are molecules that don't dissolve in water. But what actually makes a fat healthy or unhealthy? Well, it all comes down to its chemical structure. When researchers talk about healthy fats, they're talking about lipids with specific chemical bonds that keep them liquid at room temperature. We call this category unsaturated fats, and it's exactly that chemical flexibility that makes them behave so wonderfully inside our bodies. Section 2. Saturated versus trans fats. All right, so let's meet the bad guys. There are two main dietary villains out there: saturated fats and trans fats. Saturated fats are the ones that are solid at room temperature, so think butter, lard, or that thick fat on a cut of beef or pork. Eating high amounts of these pumps up the bad cholesterol in your blood. And then we have trans fats. These are actually unsaturated fats that have been heavily processed just to act like saturated fats, and they are literally the worst of the worst. Why? Because not only do they increase your bad cholesterol, but they actively decrease your good cholesterol at the exact same time. It's a double whammy that makes them a massive risk factor for heart disease. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it completely busts a massive modern health halo. We constantly hear coconut oil being marketed as this absolute superfood, right? But just look at its actual profile. It is 82% unhealthy saturated fat. 82%. Harvard experts are super clear on this. While it might be marginally better than straight animal fat, it absolutely should not be your daily go-to cooking oil. Their advice? Keep it to a minimum and use it sparingly, if at all. Section 3. The power of unsaturated fats. Enter the heroes of our story. There are two main types of healthy unsaturated fats. First up, monounsaturated fats. You'll find these guys in super delicious foods like olive oil, avocados, almonds, and cashews. Second, we have polyunsaturated fats. Now, these provide the same fantastic benefits, but they bring something extra special to the table: essential omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. These omegas are absolutely vital for brain function, growing healthy hair and skin, keeping your bones strong, and running a healthy metabolism. You can find these powerhouses in things like walnuts, flax seeds, soybean oil, and fatty fish. So here's where the magic really happens: how these fats interact with our cholesterol. Remember, saturated fats increase LDL, which is that bad cholesterol that forms dangerous plaque in your arteries. But our heroes, the unsaturated fats, they actually help raise HDL, the good cholesterol. Now, I want you to think of HDL like a massive fleet of microscopic garbage trucks. It physically travels through your bloodstream, scoops up that excess bad LDL plaque, and sweeps it all the way back to the liver where it's broken down and thrown out. You want a massive ratio of garbage trucks to garbage, right? Well, unsaturated fats are exactly how you build that fleet. Section 4. Benefits for heart and brain. According to UCLA Health, there is a super robust body of research showing this incredible list of benefits. We're talking everything from significantly lowering your risk of heart disease to helping control blood sugar. But crucially, they also dampen inflammatory responses. You see, diets that are high in saturated fats literally cause inflammation in the body, but unsaturated fats, they directly counteract and soothe that inflammation. And on top of all that, growing evidence shows these fats help maintain the physical integrity of our intestinal barrier. That means they are literally supporting your gut microbiome, helping you absorb nutrients efficiently, and boosting your overall immune function. It's the whole shebang. To put that into perspective, if you need another reason to love healthy fats, check out this number: 7 years. Back in 2015, a comprehensive study evaluated the MIND diet. This is a diet that heavily pushes for eating healthy fats, nuts, olive oil, fatty fish, while telling you to dial back the butter, cheese, and red meat. The researchers found something incredible. Older adults who closely followed this way of eating actually had the cognitive function of someone more than 7 years younger. Seriously, healthy fats literally keep your brain acting younger. Section 5. Finding your healthy fats.
And this brilliantly illustrates why we need an action plan. Let's put all this science into practice with a super clear comparison. When you're at the store, you want to choose fatty fish like salmon and mackerel instead of fatty cuts of beef or pork. Try swapping highly processed meats, like salami, for a crunchy handful of walnuts or chia seeds. Switch out your cooking butter or margarine for heart-healthy olive and canola oils. And hey, when you need a snack, grab a creamy avocado instead of leaning on saturated fat bombs like pastries, cakes, or hot chips.
Now, while the latest dietary guidelines don't restrict your overall quantity of healthy fats, they do have a hard and fast rule for the bad stuff. You absolutely must keep your saturated fat intake to less than 10% of your daily calories. Harvard researchers note a really critical caveat here. Any of those amazing heart benefits you get from eating healthy, unsaturated fats, they can be completely canceled out if you're still eating too much saturated fat right alongside them. So whatever you do, keep the bad stuff under that 10% threshold. Look, you don't have to overhaul your entire life to do this. Just follow these 3 super simple, practical steps to effortlessly sneak healthy fats into your day. Number 1, just switch your base cooking fat to olive or canola oil. Super easy. Number 2, grab a handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, cashews for your mid-afternoon snack. And number 3, make a real effort to eat fatty fish twice a week so you get those incredible omega-3s. Oh, and I almost forgot. Here is a really fun bonus fact from the UCLA researchers. Dark chocolate actually contains monounsaturated fats, too. I mean, sure, eat it in moderation because of the sugar, but it's a genuinely great little disease-fighting treat. So what does this all mean for you? I want to leave you with this final practical question. Which unhealthy fat are you going to swap out for a healthy hero today? Are you going to switch out your butter for some olive oil tonight? Maybe trade that afternoon pastry for a handful of crunchy walnuts? The science is abundantly clear here. Embracing the right fats is quite literally one of the most powerful and delicious things you can do for your heart, your brain, and your overall longevity. Take action on your diet today, and I promise you, your body's going to thank you for years to come. Thanks for learning with me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.